What's up guys, it's JDI again, back with another video. Today we're doing a story time about a kid who hit a lace cart in school. So to start everything off, I just want to start this by saying, if you guys are into vaping and carts and all this other stuff, please do not be buying it off the streets or from strangers. It is not worth your health or anything. Like, if we're being honest, you're smoking on hot dog water. Like, just cut it out, alright? But anyway, let's just get into the story. So it is a normal high school day for me. I get to the school around like 7:30-ish, and for whatever reason, I don't know about anyone else's school, but my school would personally bombard the bathrooms prior to the first class and just hotbox the crap out of it with carts, vapes, you know, anything that could burn, honestly. And I'm not gonna lie, I had a decent amount of friends who actually partook in those activities, so that obviously caused me to go to the bathroom too. So I'm not gonna lie, I was in the bathroom too, man, alright? But anyway, I go to the bathroom on a seemingly normal day, and I actually run into someone who I shared the next class period with, which was Spanish. And this was a pretty low profile kid, you know, he didn't really talk much, he wasn't really out there for people's attention or anything like that. So for the purpose of this video, we're just gonna call him Timmy. And so me and Timmy actually shared Spanish together. So me and him were talking about Spanish, you know, X, Y, and Z, the tests we had coming up, you know, all that good stuff. But after we finished talking, I realized Timmy had just asked a senior to hit his cart, and the senior actually gives him the cart. And so my friend Timmy does what he does. He goes in the stall. He ends up hitting this thing so many times, if I'm being honest. It was to the point where there was smoke coming out from on top of the stall and below. It was wild, okay? Anyway, probably anywhere from like 45 seconds to a minute, he ends up coming out, and it is pretty apparent that he's not right. So when he opened the door, like, everyone could notice that his eyes were already basically shut, which was extremely weird, but I guess at the time people were like, wow, that must have been a gas cart or something stupid. So my friend Timmy comes out, and I immediately realize that he is pretty messed up, alright? He is really not able to walk, his eyes are not really able to be opened, and he is not able to talk real well. He's like, like, he can't really form a sentence right now. So that's how I would know, like, oh my god, this kid is messed up right now, alright? But anyway, as I said, me and this kid actually had the next class period together. So I was kind of put in a position of, do I help this kid and possibly get in trouble because he's high, or do I leave him there and, you know, it's someone else's problem entirely, right? And if I'm being honest, guys, I decided to help him. I just didn't feel right leaving a friend behind, you know? And I chose to help him because if I was ever put in that position, man, I would want someone to help me, you know, 100%. So that's what I did. I helped him. And what I mean I helped him, I walked him to Spanish, literally holding this dude up from under his, like, shoulder blade, and I walked him to Spanish, alright? And by the time we get to the door, the teacher is standing outside the hallway. And my man is barely walking, he's dragging his feet. I'm basically dragging him, okay? But yeah, so the teacher was outside the doorway, literally staring at us every step as we go. Literally probably knowing exactly what's going on, right? But anyway, we get to the teacher and we get to the doorway, and the doorway isn't big enough to fit the both of us, right? So I let him go first, you know, because I think maybe he could just take a normal step forward. Maybe, I don't know. And he actually ended up hitting both sides of the door within one step, ricocheting like a ping pong ball and almost falling to the ground. It was honestly terrible. After I realized that, I, you know, kind of grabbed him and I guided him to his desk, sat him down, all that good stuff. And then I sat down because I still had to get ready for class too. So anyway, we're in Spanish, right? And immediately my friend puts his head down and he's like leaning, he's basically asleep, alright? He's out like a light and there's no waking him up. And then the teacher actually walks back in to start the class and notices that Timmy is already asleep, and it's been like 5 minutes, alright? So obviously, like any normal teacher would do, she did the old walk around and tap on the shoulder, like a little shrug, and get, you know, to wake up. So she did that once. My man didn't move, okay? And from that point on, this Spanish teacher literally gave him the death stare. It was terrifying. I think it was because she connected the 2 and 2 that he was probably high and, you know, not paying attention to the class. But like, the death stare was crazy, alright? But she only did one little shoulder tap, and then she was like, you know what, screw this kid, and didn't look at him for the rest of the time, or even talk to him at all. So the teacher, you know, starts to ignore him, and probably around like 10-15 minutes go by, right? And my friend actually ends up falling out of his desk, taking the desk with him, keep that in mind, smashed the back of his head up, and started having a seizure. Which obviously you can imagine for a bunch of high school, you know, students is kind of traumatic. And after he fell and started having a seizure, we actually had to call the ambulance and all that other types of stuff to actually come in and, you know, help the kid, obviously. So obviously they take the kid out of school, and honestly no one really knew what was wrong yet. Like, I had an idea, but like even me, I was like, weed can't do that, right? Like that what I just saw didn't add up in my brain, honestly. But then I actually ended up talking to the dude days after the incident and talking to him, and that's when he found out what he actually hit was laced, all right? And he did make a full recovery. He's completely healthy now. But it is, you know, it is definitely a horror story. It's something to think about before you get into that type of stuff, for sure. But anyway, guys, that's gonna wrap up this video. And just as a reminder, man, don't be buying that street stuff, all right? You don't want no hot dog water, all right? But anyway, thank you guys so much for watching. If you enjoyed, like and subscribe for more content just like this, and I'll see you guys later. Adios.